Hi, welcome to the channel. This video is a walkthrough of the TryHackMe room capture. The video is recorded live on Twitch. A link to the Twitch channel will be in the description. Please do the usual YouTube things like, comment, subscribe. Enjoy. Today we're going to go through the TryHackMe room capture. So I've already started the VM. I've created a directory on my desktop, and that's about as far as I've got. So let's have a look. I'll grab that key. Okay, so it's down at files. Got a zip. And that's step one. Nice and easy. Right, and let's take a look. So before we do anything, let's copy. Right, let's move the capture zip, unzip capture. So I create a mmap directory. I did, so that's mmap. There we go, so let's have a look, see what ports are open. Let's start there, whilst we're waiting for that. It's ready. See what mmap's doing. Okay, so we've got a login page. So, wait for build to download. Looking at this capture.zip, we had two files, so username and password. That's cat username, pretty much what we expect, same password. Okay, so don't need to worry too much about that. We've only got the one flag to get, so go back to here. So I imagine all we've got to do is brute force this and we will get a flag. Nice and easy. And set on, and this through burp. Let's say Daz 1, log in, and to repeater, and we'll also send it through intruder. We send it to repeater. Okay, so the user Daz does not exist. Okay. The user does not exist. Okay, perfect. So let's send that to intruder. Clear those. Add that. And all we'll do is use that username file that we provided and see if we can brute force a user. This is going to be ridiculously slow using burp. So we could use something like fuff or wfuzz or something like that instead. Will be a lot better, but let's look what we get. What we can do, if we find, okay, too many bad login attempts, capture enabled. Let's refresh this. Okay, right, so we can't brute force. Let's stop that. So basically, too many login requests, capture enabled. We've got to do this calculation and then we can submit our post request. So there's probably a way of doing that in burp. I don't know what it is. So let's create a Python script and let's have a look at this. So we start Visual Studio Code. Right, new file, Python file, and let's save it as TryHackMe capture login.py. Okay, so get that ready because we're going to be doing this a lot. So we know we're going to be sending HTTP requests, so let's import requests. And let's get the URL, which will be this. So we could just get it to get an argument and grab the URL that way, but this script's only going to be for this room, so it makes sense. So let's build it up slowly, right? So let's go art equals press.get URL. Just make sure that's working. So print text type. Okay, so we're getting the body. Perfect. So the first thing we need to deal with is this capture. Where is that in this response? There's a capture. Medicine. So let's do a regular expression. Capture the capture. Is it 101? Yes. Right. So I don't do regex very often. So what I'm going to do is copy. Just copy this. I'm going to put that into here, and then we're going to build the regular expression just to make sure we can match that, match the capture in the regex. And then what we do is we search the HTTP response for that regex, and then put that in a variable, capture it, and submit it in the next post request. So we're going to want something like start. Do we want to match a digit? Let's do. So do a lowercase d. Any digit is lowercase d. Space. One for symbol? I don't think there is. Let's do anything non-word character. There's definitely going to be a better way to, but this should work. Well, that didn't work. Let's try. I'm going to tell you why. It's because I'm done. There you go. So, plus, can't see my keyboard because my microphone's in the way. Okay, so that's capturing it, right? So, yeah, one match and it's captured that. Perfect, right? So that's going to be our regex version. Let's save that. Regex, we call that. And then we want let's call it capture equals re dot match all or search all. Let's try it, and then we can always chuck into Google after other tests. Print right, so let's run this. Right, so it's on match all. Python regex match text. Now let's find all. Try find all. Huh? I don't think it's find all. So capture equal regex equals that in r.text. Hang on. Is that because I think it times out. Let's do this. If r.text if in r.text do that. Actually, thinking about it, we need to import those files as well. Let's put this up here. So let's do user file name equals username text actually test that. So let's do username line equal I've got 3 lines. Can't see the bloody keyboard. Right. So that should allow us to open the username file, read the lines from it, and then we're going to request the login pool, and initially we're going to see if we're getting that invalid capture in the response. So actually, let me start intruder again. That should generate enough that we hit that capture. Right, so if I run this again now, usernames dot text. That's all. Try again. Well, I'm running it from here to Python 3 login. Okay, that's mine. No, that's why. Capture. Python 3 login.py. Okay. Not getting this capture though. Print our.text again. See where we're going wrong. What's not working? Not hitting it for the script. Okay. So let's just get rid of that for a second. And then let's have a look at it. So let's do for username in username. Let's just make sure we're reading that file right, which we are, but we're getting. So let's do .parse rip. Right, so let's build this up slowly. So let's do our dot let's do p equals requests post URL equals data. Here, let's have headers. And here, if we look at the here, right, so we need this content type. So rather than JSON, it's this. Let's copy this in. And let's do it this way. Headers and data. Go back to birth. Make this. Username. Let's do username. Username was we don't need a print statement now. So we're going to capture the username from the file, strip out the new lines, submit that as in the username and password, post that, and then let's see what we get. Thank you for the follow. Let's put it. Let's put it. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to go for the usernames, strip out the blank space, put that into the body of the post request, submit the post request, and then if invalid captcha is shown in the response, we're going to make sure we can capture that captcha request, and then from there we'll build on top and see where we get to. So let's see what happens. No. B.text. Try again. Okay, right, so these are all the captchas coming through. Right. Stop that. So we know we are hitting the captchas now. So what we need to do is we need to calculate what that captcha is and then put that in the post request. Then let's do, what's going to be the best way to do this? Let's do captcha for a completed captcha equals, either is probably the worst thing to use, but I can do that. Just should work for me. Print complete captcha. So let's see if we then get the captcha. It does not find. We're getting a captcha, but we're not completing it. They're coming through as an array. That's why. That's annoying. Okay, so that's because we're using find all. Okay, so let's do for captcha in that return. Thank you. That's a little bit organized. This is probably like the worst Python code ever, but it should work. For return captcha in captcha. Completed captcha equals return captcha print. We don't need that now. There we go. Right, so we're getting, so basically we are posting to the login form. We're checking to see if we're getting invalid captcha in the response. We are then capturing that captcha with a regular expression, completing the captcha with eval, which is basically doing the sum for us and then providing the response. So now we got to do another post request, but with the captcha in the body of the post request. So let's stop that. Go back to Bert. Let's go to here. No, Bert for proxy. Intercept back on. Login again. Okay, so we're just doing and capture. Okay, cool. So now we've done that, we're going to do another. So let's replace data. So data now equals this. So the username, password. We'll worry about password later. And the capture. Payments, we don't need that now. And then we're going to do another post. Just going to post the same URL. Going to use this data. And we're going to use headers as before, which is absolutely fine. But this time we want to check to see if what was it? User does not exist, wasn't it? Yeah. Cool. Still on it. Let's cancel this. Cancel it. Okay, right. Refresh and valid capture. What was the message we were getting before? I think it was like user not valid, I think. If is not valid. I'm sure it's something like that in p.text print the okay, so fingers crossed. This should be going through all the usernames in the file, checking to see, checking each username, doing a post request for it, completing the capture, and then if we get is not valid in the response, actually, that's wrong, isn't it? I'm doing that the wrong way. Cancel that. Where are we? Right, we're here. Right, refresh this, then let's work out the capture. So I know obviously Daz isn't in there, so 938 takeaway 49. I'm just going to bring up calculator rather than mess around with all this. So 938 takeaway 49 889. Quick maths. There we go. The username does not exist. Let's copy that. Right, so if I leave that like that and run, it's going to basically print out all the usernames in the file, right? Because it's matching that. So if I then do not in, I can do, yeah, let's just run that. So basically now we should get a hit on a valid username, and then we've just got to repeat the same process for the password, and then we should have some credentials. Like I said, this isn't the best Python code, but it's, you know, creating a POC, so it doesn't have to be brilliant. So let's leave that to run for a second. And so if the background music's too low or too high, or speech is too low or too high, etc. I can tweak, but hopefully it sounds good. Right, so username Natalie, perfect. So we can only do two things. We can either manually put in the username of Natalie and update the script that way, or we can update the script so as soon as it finds Natalie username, it then goes on to search for the password. So let's just put this as a comment down here for now, so we've got it. So got username file. So basically pick this, but for password. As file name equals password.text. Password line. Move that away. Just a little bit tidier. Right, so we've got a username, got password loaded. Or username. I think I'm going to update it so it just goes through and searches rather than doing it manually. So keep as we've got and just extend it out. Because that way, if we're using this for another POC and you wanted to find multiple users, this would be the best way of doing it, because in that way you'd get a list of all the valid users and passwords, not just a single credential. So we're matching here. So now we need to then we basically need to update the data we're inputting with the password list. So comment this out. And let's kind of repeat what we've done already so far. So for passwords in, I call it password line for whatever reason. Password equals passwords. Yeah, strip. And then we're going to do data equals this. Username, that'll kind of stay the same, and this password. We don't actually know what error message we're getting, do we? So let's grab put it here, so we know username. Fresh Natalie 826 times 59. Definitely not trying to work that out. 826 times 59. 48,734. Okay, so now we're getting invalid password. Let's search for this. Right, so if not in text, I'm gonna have to do another request. Should probably give these their own variable rather than overwriting them each time. Print password. I think that's all we need. Let's run that. done that. So now we should basically run through the username list. It will hit Natalie, and then once it hits that, it will then go through all the passwords in the list, update the post request with the password, and yeah, submit that, and we're basically going to search for valid password, and hopefully we can log in. Let's see what happens. Sorry, it won't work, but yeah, there you go. Done a typo somewhere. Okay, so that's all the passwords. So it's going to be because we're going to need to redo the captcha in this section. So if I copy that part again, like I said, there'll be a better way of doing this, but for this purpose it should be fine. Let's copy that in a format. So for return capture and capture, evaluate it. That under that. So the issue basically was, or is, haven't confirmed yet, is the capture doesn't actually need to re-grab the capture and send the updated capture with the password request. All it was doing was sending the capture from before, I think. So yeah, let's see what this comes back with. Like I say, we should get username first, then it should iterate through the passwords, and hopefully we'll get a hit. If not, we'll print out the passwords, make sure we are going through them correctly, do a print on the HTTP response, just kind of see what errors we're getting and go from there. Let me know if you've got any issues reading the text, or if I need to make it bigger, smaller, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so let's do what we said. So let's do print password. Let's just for field. Actually, before we do that, let's just to make this quicker, let's move usernames to original.text. And what was the name? Back to here. Move usernames. Text. Just speed this up a little bit. We can move it back afterwards. I still have to sit there waiting for it to get to Natalie every time. Okay, so get the capture. That's the wrong value. So we're not submitting the right value. Right, where have we gone wrong? Let me just get rid of it. Let's print and capture. Right, let's just do that for now. So I want to make sure we're getting the passwords from the file, and I want to make sure we're getting the capture. So let's do that, which we are, right? Perfect. So let's delete that, comment that out, getting the capture. So let's print this, see where we're going wrong. Too far. It lost me at Python. It can't be a bit of Python. I'm no expert at Python, but just doing some of the basics does make it easier. Because you can probably do this in Bash. To be fair, you can probably do this in Burp, but I have no way of how you'd do it in Burp. How you'd get that feature and then send the request. There's bound to be a way. I don't know how you'd do it. So, let's have a look. So, where have I gone wrong? Oh, it does not exist. Then we're going through the lines. Getting the capture. Sync somewhere. Let's print data. So now what I'm checking here is checking that the completed capture is what's been submitted in the data. Just to make sure it's all in sync. Definitely think it should be rated as easy. Because although you're using Python and you're scripting it all out, there's probably easier ways of doing it. I'm probably making this harder than it needs to be. But it's a fairly simple brute force, if you know what I mean. The hardest part really is the regex part, the regular expression part, to capture, to get the capture, complete the evaluation, complete the sum or whatever it is, and then post that in the body. That really is the hardest part, and it's just kind of building up from there, because all we're doing really is iterating over the usernames, iterating over the passwords and submitting it. If in the request, in the response, you weren't getting this kind of error output, then yeah, that would be a lot harder, because trying to then troubleshoot it and test it that way would take a lot longer, and you wouldn't know kind of how to do your error checking and that kind of stuff. But I think it's easy for a basic kind of Python script, if that makes sense. So, right, so username, we're getting Ali, we're getting password, capture is 470. That's going to be the next. That's right. Let's close that again and then just run it. I'm getting a hit. The issue and that I tell you why. Because obviously that's submitted, and then you probably didn't get a capture response. There probably wasn't a invalid capture or not invalid capture. What am I looking for? You get this in the response. Yeah, if invalid capture in p text, you're probably not getting that, which is why it's causing it to error out. But yeah, that's the password. We copy that. Go back to here, so we know it's Natalie. Rest because the capture would have changed. The calculator out again. 220 times 45. Well, the calculator's on a different screen, you can't see that. 144 That's it. That's the flag. Copy that out. That's another room done. Dude, I think it is an easy challenge. I think if you're breaking it down, all we're doing, excuse me, is going over, iterating over the username file. Thank you very much for the follow. Going over the password file, and then basically doing a post request for each one, right? So get the username from the file, send that in a post request with, whatever password you want. You basically from the enumeration part. Can I go back? No, I'll keep it tied in. But from the enumeration part, if it's not a valid user, you get does not exist in the response. So you can basically, run your script and then basically look for that string. If it matches, then it's obviously not the right username. If it doesn't match, you've obviously hit the username because it gives out a different error. And it's just repeating that process for passwords. So, don't get me wrong, this script does not look pretty, but there will be definitely better ways of doing it. But for simple proof of concept, that's all you need to do. You don't necessarily need classes, you don't need functions and all that kind of good stuff. For something like this, it says 62 lines of code is enough to complete the POC. I think that's all you need. Hey, Play Hacks, how you doing? Yeah, no, nice and nice easy box. So yeah, that was capture.